Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something we all use every single day, but maybe don't fully understand: the cloud. We're going to unpack exactly how our digital lives, our photos, our work, everything manages to stay afloat. So let's just dive right in.
First, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Do you remember that feeling, that absolute gut punch when your computer just died? And you realized that your term paper or years of family photos, everything, was just gone? That was a special kind of digital nightmare, and we all lived in fear of it.
You know, that was the old way of doing things. That was the era of local storage, where all your data was basically trapped on one physical hard drive. It was limited, and man, was it risky. But today, we live in a totally different world. Our data is global, it's accessible from pretty much anywhere, and it's protected by this amazing concept called redundancy. And it's all thanks to the cloud.
So let's take a look at that journey. How did we get from those fragile physical disks to this, well, seemingly magical solution we call the cloud?
So what is cloud storage really? Well, at its heart, it's actually pretty simple. It's just a system for saving your data on someone else's super powerful computers, these remote servers that you get to through the internet. And all of that hardware is owned and managed by a provider.
And let's just get one thing straight right away, because it's a big misconception. There is no actual fluffy white cloud up in the sky holding all your stuff. The cloud is actually a global network of enormous, very real physical buildings. They're called data centers, and they are packed to the ceiling with powerful computers. Okay, so now we know what it is: a bunch of giant computer warehouses. But how does it work? How does your photo or document actually get from your laptop into one of those places? Let's follow the data.
It's really a four-step journey. First, you hit upload. Simple enough. Second, that file travels across the internet to the cloud provider. Third, it gets stored on what's called a virtual machine. Now just think of that as your own little private secure computer that's running on a much bigger physical server. And fourth, and honestly, this is the most important part, your data is instantly copied and saved in multiple data centers all over the world. That's redundancy. That's the secret sauce that keeps your data safe, even if a whole building goes offline.
But here's the thing you might not know. Not all clouds are the same. A lot like ice cream, they actually come in different flavors or models, each designed for very different needs.
This chart breaks down the three main types. You've got the public cloud, that's your Google Drive, your OneDrive. It's what most of us use. It's low cost, super easy, but you have less control. Then on the other end, you have a private cloud. This is built for just one organization. Think of a big bank that needs the absolute highest level of security for its sensitive data. And right in the middle, you have the hybrid cloud, which is a mix of both. It lets a company keep its most sensitive stuff private while using the public cloud for everything else. So once a company picks its deployment model, public, private, or hybrid, they then have to decide what kind of service they need. And honestly, the best way to get this is with a pizza analogy. Okay, stick with me. First, there's Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS. This is like renting a professional pizza kitchen. The cloud provider gives you the oven, the counter space, the raw ingredients, the servers, the storage, and you make whatever you want. This is for pros who need total control. Then there's Platform as a Service, or PaaS. This is like getting one of those take-and-bake pizza kits. The dough and the sauce are already made for you, the provider handles the servers and operating systems, and you just focus on building your app on top of it. And finally, there's Software as a Service, or SaaS. This is what most of us use every day. This is just ordering a pizza and having it delivered right to your door. Think of Gmail or Dropbox. You don't manage anything, you just enjoy the finished product. Okay, so that's the how. That's the techie part. Now let's talk about the why. What are the actual, real-world benefits of moving our lives into the cloud? What's in it for us?
The advantages are, well, they're huge. First, accessibility. Your stuff is just there, on your phone, your laptop, anywhere with internet. It's also really cost-effective, since you usually just pay for the storage you actually use. It's unbelievably scalable. Need more space? Bam, it's just a click away. Security is handled by massive teams of experts. And my personal favorite, disaster recovery. Remember that crashed computer we talked about? With the cloud, that fear is basically ancient history, because your data is backed up all over the place.
And to see just how cost-effective this can be, just look at what the big players give you for free. Google and Microsoft both start you off with a whopping 15 gigabytes without you paying a single cent. I mean, that's enough space for literally thousands of high-quality photos or documents, all kept safe and secure for you.
So it all sounds pretty perfect, right? Well, it's close. But like any powerful technology, there is a catch.
there's a trade-off. Let's look at that before we wrap things up. So what's the deal you're making? On one hand, the promise of the cloud is ultimate convenience, your entire digital life right at your fingertips, anywhere. But the catch is a big one. First, you are totally 100% dependent on the internet. No internet, no files. It's that simple. And second, you're putting an immense amount of trust and all your private data into the hands of a company. And that brings up some very real privacy concerns. You're essentially trading a little bit of control for all of that convenience.
And you know, that really brings us to our final thought here. We've shifted from a world where our data lived in one single place, under our roof, on our desk, to a world where it lives everywhere, all at once. It has made our lives so much easier, but it does leave us with a pretty profound question to think about. In this new digital world, who is really in control?